This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is another video taking a look at a national hunt possible ahead of the spring festivals coming up in March, April, May, and I think Punchestown even is in June. I'm not 100% sure what month it is in, but we took a look at a horse yesterday or the day before, the first 3-year-old hurdler of the season. We're going to go back now into the novice hurdle category and take a look at another horse. But before we do that, can I just say thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for subscribing and commenting, those that have chosen to do so. Rep CIC Racing 2020. .great/site.net is probably the last website that will contain any national hunt horses. We have a classic watch sites, obviously, if horses are running over hurdles on that, and something's gone terribly wrong in England anyway. But so basically, that's the website. You might find a few jumps horses on if you're that way inclined, but it's really the website is from the last time horses were put on there was November 2020 as the site was full, and then we missed a year from 2021, 2022, and then we did a Classic Watch 22, 23 and 24 to try and get back on to get some horses out there for people to look at if they choose to. So Rep CIC Racing 2020.great/site.net is where you will find some more horses and pedigrees. Right, the horse we're going to take a look at today is interesting, I think. It's got some good form. The horse in question is called Ballyburn, trained by Willie Mullins, owned by Roger Bartlett, I think his name is, and Ronnie Bartlett, actually, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know who he is, really. I'm just blagging it. Sire is Flemingsfirth, and the dam of the horse is Old Moon. Beaches stud, bred horse. I mean, this horse, to me, has got some interesting potential. We'll see it's already beaten Firefox, a horse that disappointed the other day at Naas when fancied for the Grade 1. And then it's come out and won a maiden hurdle on the 29th of December by 25 lengths. And it's run to the sort of mark that makes me stand up and look at a horse that wins a maiden hurdle above 140. The horse has actually run to 145. I think we've got Coldwell Potter at 149 is our best novice hurdler this season so far, the Grade 1 winner. So this horse has only got four Racing Post rating figures to find until it's level with our Grade 1 winner that we identified last season. Didn't really do anything in bumpers. They kept it relatively low key. Although the ratings were very good, it never turned up in any graded bumpers. And then, as we said, this year, in early December, it made its debut over hurdles behind Firefox. And it then won on the 29th of December at Leopardstown, went up to for the first time to 2 miles, 4.5, 4 furlongs on soft and heavy ground. It's a horse that's never ran on anything better than good to yielding. So it might be interesting to note whether how ground dependent this horse might well be. It also won its only point-to-point start as well. So the horse has only lost once in its life at this stage to Firefox, who in its own regard is a nice horse. I just can't quite get it on side. I was hoping it'd beat 3 of mine at Naas. And then, well, I wasn't hoping. I was always, you know what I mean, don't you, boys and girls? I was hoping if Firefox was going to get on it, going to have to beat 3 of mine. And it proved to be too much to ask. Although something did, but I've swerved it anyway. So Ballyburn, to me, is a very interesting horse. What it isn't, though, is a flat horse. This is a national hunt horse, pure and simple. And I'll show you why I think that before we start looking at everything. Ballyburn, as people will see, a gelding foaled in 2018 here's a thoroughbred, from dam line 6F. And the reason I say that it's not a flat horse is because I had to go a very long way back to get it on the legacy site that I use to determine what historically the dam line has done on the flat. I mean, we're looking at horses here. A faux pas in 1886 is the 10th dam of the horse. And I had to go back further than that. I had to go back to a horse foaled in 1872, which is about 150 years ago, is it now? The old maths ain't what it should be at this time of day. Yes, 150 years ago. And it's very, very distantly related to any decent flat horses. What it is, though, it is quite, if people go back far enough, it is very closely related to the foundation mare of line 6F. People find it right at the top there. Look, Cradle and Fleeder in 1872. There is a tell. There it is. The foundation dam is the 16th dam of this horse. So 16 generations have passed of dam to get from the foundation line 6F Testatrix to the current day. On this line here, you'll see there that Cradle and Fleeder are on there, and then we're just nowhere to be seen for at least 100 years. But there is just branching off horses like Polmarch, winner of the 1921 British St Leger, and the winner of the 2010 Argentinian Derby Expressive Halo. But there isn't really a lot. You see, we're right at the top here, and it's not a flat pedigree, this. Not many classic winners related to it at all recently. So this is a proper out-and-out National Hunt horse. I think one of the first ones that I've identified this year. A lot of my horses, I do like to have a little bit of speed in them. That just tend to help, I do think. But this horse is decent. We've seen the form, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at a few horses that are related to the horse, if the internet will allow us to do that. Being beckoning to the powers of the internet is never a pleasant place to be. We're going to take a look at some of the horses related to it, up to, say, the 4th dam, who was foaled in the same year as me, 1974. And then we're going to take a look at horses it's related to. A couple of horses the horse is actually very closely related to offer us a bit of a hope. It actually related to this Ballyburn 145 over hurdles. Noble Endeavour, trained by Gordon Elliott and sired by Flemingsforth as well as ours. I think full brother is this. Yes, jolly good. Full brother to Noble Endeavour, who was rated 160 over fences and 151 over hurdles. He struggled to get round towards the end of his career, being pulled up in 3 of his last 5 starts. But he was a horse that showed some interesting potential. He was actually second behind Zaidpour in 2014 in the Grade 2 Lismullen hurdle. And he was also second in the 2015 and Martin Pipe at Cheltenham Festival behind Kilolta Vic. That was his best hurdle mark of 151 was attained on that day. And then it was a chasing career where, again, he was placed at Grade 2 level, beaten 5 lengths by Measure of My Dreams in the 2016 10-up Novices Chase, before making his breakthrough, really, when he won the Grade B chase at Leopardstown Christmas Festival, sponsored by an Irish bookmaker. He won there, running to a mark of 157, a valuable £78,000 race. He was then third in the Ultima Handicap Chase at the Cheltenham Festival behind Untemps Portu, when he gained his highest chase rating of 160. He then ran in the 2017 Irish Grand National, finishing 6th behind El Duke, running to a mark of 152. So rather than a horse that made its mark at graded level, this was a good handicapper, really. It never won many level races. It was placed in 2 Grade 2s, 1 over fences and 1 over hurdles. But not a bad horse, rated 160. Another one, Minella Daddy, trained by some bloke called Mickey Brown, who owned it as well. Another one, Full Brother, sired by Flemensforth. This one was a bit lower than Noble Endeavour, rated 148 over fences, which is again is higher than what Ballyburn is rated now. But already Ballyburn is a better hurdler than this one, who's rated only 131 over hurdles. This horse was interesting without being spectacular, I think it's fair to say. In 2016, it was second in the Silver Cup Handicap Chase, where it ran to its mark of 148, beaten a length and 3/4 by Regal Encore, who then repeated the feat later on in the same race in 2018. It was also second in the Silver Cup, behind Regal Encore, off a £5 lower mark. So again, it's another one that has forms in handicaps, really. But Ballyburn, we're hoping, will be on a different level to these handicaps. But if you just go by ratings, this horse was rated at the end of its career after 22 chase starts, a little bit higher than Ballyburn. And there is the odd bit of black type in there as well. The first two dams of the horse, I think, Old Moon and Moonstorm, I think are both unraced. We will check these now. Old Moon, foaled in 2001, sired by Old Vic, is unraced, according to this site. And the second dam, foaled in 1994, Moonstorm, is also unraced, foaled by a Strong Gale. But like you've seen sires here that are proper national hunt stallions put with this damn line. Arguably two of the best in recent times there, Old Vic and Strong Gale. Another horse it might take worth taking a look at is Warden Hill, who was trained by Helen Connors, sired by Presenting, another good jump sire. This horse is out of Moonstorm again and again. You've got some interesting yardsticks on this line compared to Ballyburn. Another 143 rated chaser and 134 rated hurdler. But again, this is a point-to-pointer towards the end of his career. But if people go scroll back to the beginning of his career, they'll see he was actually placed in a Grade 2, placed in the River Don Novices Hurdle of 2014, behind Urban Hymn. That was quite arguably his best hurdle run there of 129, even though they are saying his run of 134 in a £6,000 handicap hurdle was better than that. The horse then went novice chasing. It was actually second behind Coney Gree in the Grade 1 Cato Star Novices Chase, beaten 30 lengths plus and running to a mark of 118, which was probably a run that arguably exposed the horse. That's his run of 143 as a chaser. The best was actually gained in an £8,000 Weatherby Egg and Spoon race, where it won by, a Weatherby sponsored race, at the hallowed turf of Fakenham, where it ran to a mark of 143, winning by 51 lengths. So again, a group-placed hurdler, an average yardstick, it's fair to say. We're struggling, really, if Ballyburn is no better than these, aren't we, really, in the immediate pedigree? We need to find something here to give us some hope, don't we? Luminous Run. Luminous Run is the third dam of Ballyburn. Luminous Run foaled in 1984, was actually unplaced in 4 starts, sired by Deep Run, out of a mare called Sharpaway, who was foaled in 1974. And the fourth dam, Sharpaway, sired by Royal Highway, had 7 starts, and there's question marks there as to how many times the horse won. So that is really fair to say that this site here, Thoroughbred Database, they don't really follow national hunt jumps racing in the UK with their horses. It's fair to say. So as a consequence of that, we didn't really have much to go on. You saw that we were 150 years away from tying it into any flat horses, and we found a few handicappers so far. So we're going to take a look at a few other horses now that I did find. Mr. Fred Rogers was on this line as well. Play the Wing. The dam of Mr. Fred Rogers is on this line. And this was quite a promising horse. Again, only rated 134. But again, another one that was placed in a Grade 2 race. In 2021, it was placed in the Grade 2 Navan Novices Hurdle. Although the win back at Thurles in December, when it ran to 134, was deemed its best hurdle performance. It then sadly died. He died aged 6, maybe in this race. In the Grade 3 race at Clonmel in February, the novice hurdle, it actually slipped up and fell when a 7-4 favourite behind Chantreuse, this horse trained by Gordon Elliott, side by Sholokov, is also on this line. But again, it'd been nice to see. This horse has had actually won half of its races, 3 out of 6, and hadn't even been ran in a handicap, whereas the others had looked to be handicappers. This one could not have been, but we'll never find out. This mare probably gives us the best clues that I could find. Sparky Sue, foaled in 1989, sired by Strong Gale, out of Sharpaway. So it's quite closely related to one of our dams, who I think is actually on the same line. I think I've closed down the wrong tab, boys and girls. I have. Never a good start when you do that, because this thoroughbred database site is, people can get bogged down in it. And it's not necessarily back and forth where you go again, you see. We need to type Ballyburn again in, you see. It doesn't really remember what's been on the site before. It's very, it is what it is, that site. And but the information on it is sound. The navigation, not so much. You'll see there that Strong Gale and Luminous Run, the third dam of our horse as well, is the same. Luminous Gale was a deep run and a sharp away. And so too is Sparky Sue, who I now need and I have closed down. Brilliant. Right, the Railwayman. Sparky Sue is the dam of the Chernazar sired Railwayman. People have to go back a while before they unlock this one. Railwayman was actually a Grade 1 novice chase winner. Railwayman won the 2006 Moriarty Novices Chase, beating Father Matt by half a length, 1.5 lengths, running to a mark of 146. It was also placed in a couple of graded race hurdles. It was placed behind Justified in the 2005 Meneley Holmes Novice Hurdle, a Grade 2. So it was 5th actually behind Wild Passion in the Champion Hurdle at the Punchestown Festival of 2005. Oh no, there, one of it was placed in the Grade 1, the race before that. 2005 Deloitte Novices Hurdle, it was 2nd behind Royal Paradise, beaten by 3 lengths when it ran to its highest hurdle mark of 139. 146 rated chaser when it won the Grade 1. It was then 7th in the Sun Alliance of 2006 behind Stardom Hazon. Race I actually do remember. So yeah, it was that race 2006. Oh yeah, beaten by 41 lengths unfortunately that day. And the horse never really recovered from that. It ran in a hurdle back to that to try and get its form back, but it never really did. And then it went point to point in at the end of its career. This 146 rated Grade 1 winner, the first we found on the line, the Railwayman. It's not the last, because Sparky Sue, I think, was also the third dam of the dam of Bob Ollinger. Zenaldi. I think we really do need another one of these open now, don't we? There's no right click on this site, you see. You can't go back and forward the way I usually would. What I have to do is type in the name of the horse, Zenaid, and then search for it. And this dam here, Zenaid, you see there, 6F, is actually the dam of Bob Ollinger. And you'll see there that Sharpaway Sparky Sue is the second dam, and Sharpaway is the third dam. So we're getting to the sort of quality that we need now. We've just had to go back 50 years to horses foaled the same year as me to prove that this horse is actually any good. And I think it is. You'll see there that we look at Zenaid. She's the dam of Bob Ollinger. sired by Sholokov, and the second one we've had by Sholokov on this line. You'll see that Bob Ollinger's a horse that will always polarise opinions. Me, I've never really been with the horse. I might give it a chance in at a decent price now. I've seen it's related to this one. But you see there, so people can't fault the horse. It's a dual Grade 1 novice hurdler. It beat Blue Lord by 6.5 lengths, who was also a subsequent Grade 1 winner. And it has slammed Gaillard de Menil by 7.5 lengths as well. It is a Cheltenham Festival winner, dual Cheltenham Festival winner, I think, if we look at Cheltenham career. It won the Ballymore, ran to a mark of 163. Also, another Grade 3 novice chase winner when it ran to 162 when it defeated Capodanno. And then, and arguably the luckiest win I've ever seen at the Cheltenham. Well, that's not true. Seen a few others. But when it won that race, the Turners, it was quite lucky. The horse fouled, didn't it? The other one, the horse that Willie Mullins trains. Can't remember the name of it. So many horses about now. The Gold Cup favourite this year. You'll all be screaming at the screen now, telling you what the horse is. Thank you very much. It's totally out of my head at the moment. Oh, no, totally out of my head. Galopin de Champ, is that it? Something like that, isn't it? Galopin de Champ we're going to side with. It then beat Bustleton by 40 lengths in the Turners, running to a mark they are saying was even lower than his hurdle mark. That proved to me when they do that the horse is not a natural chaser. And to be fair to them, it's pulled up behind Capodanno next time, and I think they realise that. In 2022, they sent it back over hurdles last year, where it didn't win, and it didn't really look the same horse. But this year, it's thrown in arguably its best hurdle performance, yes, of 165 when it beat Marie's Rock by 7 lengths at Cheltenham in the Wellkill hurdle at Grade 2. And it also won a Grade 2 hurdle in Ireland as well, where the Lismullen hurdle, when it ran to a mark of 157. So as this horse could be giving us the Stayers winners here, Ballyburn, could have led us directly to the Stayers hurdle. It's weird how I've always been pretty anti-Bob Ollinger up to now, but now I've seen he's related to one of mine. He's the best staying hurdler in training. That is how fickle us racing people can be. But well, I'm not a racing person at all. I shouldn't really have said that. Bob Ollinger, interesting horse though, to say the least. And this line though, she's been involved in a few, you see, which means I think this could be an influential mare, this Zenaid. She's also the dam of Miska. Miska sired by Presenting, trained by Willie Mullins again. She won half of her starts, 3 out of 6. Never jumped a fence, 136 rated hurdler. She managed to win a listed novice hurdle when she beat Jesper's Dream by 2.5 lengths in the 2015 Taunton Mares Novices Hurdle, where she ran to a mark of 136. That was deemed her best hurdle run. She never ran at the Cheltenham Festival. She was 4th behind Missy Tata in the same year at Punchestown, in 2016, when Setanta Sports was still about. Setanta Sports actually sponsored that race. So, but again, though, you see that these are getting the strike rate's going up, the quality is going up, the further back you go in this pedigree. And I'm going to end with the final thread soon that Willie will prove that. Miska is a dam of Eva Grace. Eva Grace is going round now. I watched her go round the other day. She is actually trained by Willie Mullins, side by Walk in the Park. Miska is the dam of this. And this one is an interesting horse. Another one, rather like Bob Ollinger, that seems to be showing a preference for hurdles over chases. Despite the fact she's only had 2 chase starts, she's still 12 behind her hurdle mark of 135. This horse is a Grade 3 winning novice hurdler. She won the Shannon Spray Mares Novice Hurdle. They sneaked her in at Limerick while everyone else was looking at Cheltenham. Beautiful piece of placement. A race I always pay very, very close attention to. Shame I didn't this year. Well, I might have done, but I didn't pick the winner on the day. And I don't really pick winners on the day anymore. I just follow the horses I identified in advance. Saves a lot of time. You don't have to look every day. This horse here, you see, was 3rd in the mare's chase behind Harmonia Maker, when she raised to a mark of 113. And she actually, 123, was gained 2nd beaten by Hortery in the race at Killarney in May 2023. She hasn't actually made her mark at Group 1 level. She was actually pulled up behind Ashrow Diamond, a race I know. I did have one in. I think it was night and day in the 2023 Mares at Novices Hurdle. It's an interesting mare, I think, this one now. A bit of a, might have a bit to find, but very well bred, related to Ballyburn and all these other horses that we're looking at. Another one is Daring Carlotta. This one is out of Zenaid, sired by Cave Tara. Again, very high strike rate, 3 out of 4. No handicaps to be seen. This horse did manage to win 3 National Hunt flat races, went into a mark of 120. A mark it's equalled when it finished third behind Bit of a Puzzle in the 2014 listed bumper at Cheltenham. And then the horse never ran again. I'm sure if Daring Carlotta hopefully will be producing some offspring soon after racing for that 1 year in 2014. I don't know where our oldest horse will have been foaled 10 years ago. And we're then back at Sharpaway, which is very interesting because I'm going to show you a dam now called Broken Dawn, who was foaled in 1943, which is the 6th dam of this horse. And that is the dam. Oh no, we've got another one we need to look at first. Before that, Sharpaway actually foaled a very good chaser back in the 80s, Moleboard. Another one sired by Deep Run and Sharpaway. So are we? Yes, we are. Deep Run and Sharpaway there as well. Luminous Run. This was a full sister to the 3rd dam of the mare. The 3rd dam of Ballyhill of Ballyburn is also the dam of Moleboard. Moleboard never really got his head in front as often as people would have liked, looking at this. But what he was is a 163 rated chaser, plenty of improvement left in old Moleboard and Ballyburn, if we judge Moleboard. Moleboard in hurdles, he was 8th behind Rebel Song in the 2088 Sun Alliance Novices Hurdle, a race that the Racing Post has not even bothered to rate. That is how poor this site is, really, for looking at horses. It then ran in a couple of hurdles. We're going to try and find grade 1s that it's ran in and grade 2s. It's placed there behind Run for Free in the 1990 Waterloo Hurdle, where it ran to a mark of 159. There was 4th at the 1991 Cheltenham Festival in the Champion Hurdle, beaten by Morley Street, 6 3/4 lengths, and it ran to a mark of 163. Morley Street then beat it again at Aintree, where it was 5th. Before, in 1991 in April, I don't think anyone could have begrudged it a win in a race I don't think exists anymore. Looking at the calendar there, 10th of April 1991, Ascot, the Keith Prowse long distance hurdle, which was a grade 2 race, which Moleboard won by 2 lengths, running to a mark of 153. It then was 3rd in 1994 in another grade 1 at Cheltenham, the Cleve Hurdle. I don't think that's a grade 1 anymore, is it? That race has been relegated. It was 3rd of 7 behind Flaky Dove, running to a mark of 162. It then was 4th behind Flaky Dove in another Champion Hurdle of 1994, finishing 2nd behind Danoli in the Aintree Hurdle of 1994. I wonder if that race had been abolished by then. They never went to win it again, did they? 3 years later. Well, I certainly don't remember the race. Danoli beat the horse by 8 lengths in a 163 to a mark of 163. It was then 7th last of all behind Moonham in the Cleve of 95. It was going down a bit then, 8th of 14 in Alderbrook's Champion Hurdle in 1995. Back handicapping for a while. The only win it won at graded level was that grade 2 win. Ascot is placed in another grade 2 handicap hurdle there of 1996. The horse was a regular Champion Hurdle runner of the early 90s. And it was even nearly placed in one of them. It also ran in another champion race there of 1989, which I missed. Another Champion Hurdle, Beach Road, where it was 6th in 1989. So it's ran in some very good races, Moleboard. It did all its winning before the Racing Post was even bothering to rate races. Maybe even before the publication existed. Because the Racing Post are no guardians of racing history. They will have only started rating races when they were formed. They don't care about the history of racing one bit. This publication. But Mulboard is a very nice horse indeed. But the horse I really did want to focus on is out of a Broken Dawn foaled in 1943. And that is arguably the best mare ever to have gone into racing. Broken Dawn is also the third dam of Dawn Run. So the sixth dam of Ballyburn is the third dam of Dawn Run. I mean, that to me, if that was a flat horse, that'd be incredible. Absolutely brilliant pedigree. Dawn Run won 21 of her 35 starts, multiple winner. I don't really trust this site. I trust this site more over the jumps than I do the Racing Post in the 70s. And so it won the Ascot Hurdle and the Christmas Hurdle at 5. At 6, she won the Irish Champion Hurdle, the Champion Hurdle, the Aintree Hurdle, and the French Champion Hurdle. At 7, she was the second on the line to win the John Durkan Memorial Chase. Also, she was the first. Railwayman won the Moriarty, didn't he? My mistake. And then at 8, Dawn Run the Mare won the Cheltenham Gold Cup of 1986. Looking at the year of the horse. I mean, died in 1986 after the Gold Cup when she fell in the French Champion Hurdle. Arguably the best race mare ever in national hunt racing, and we've got her on Ballyburn, which really was the icing on the cake. I was open-minded to leaving Ballyburn a year because I thought that's chaser. Whatever it does over hurdles is a bonus. I thought to myself, the horse is a chaser. But when I saw she was related to Mulboard and Dawn Run, it gave me hope that this could get involved in the big Grade 1 hurdles, albeit at a novice level. Although I do think next year they will go chasing with it. They seem to have done that with a lot of the most recent ones. But arguably the best form of them is over hurdles. Look at Bob Ollinger. These people are barking up the wrong tree, thinking this is a chasing line. Bob Ollinger was tried over, even though he won a Grade 1 over fences. He is a more natural hurdler than he is a chaser. And I think his form backs that up. Who knows how Ballyburn will turn out? This is a horse at the very start of his career. Fascinating prospect. Really is. And before we wrap the video up, we're going to watch him win at Leopardstown, and then we'll get on with our lives.
White flag raised. And then off over 2.5 miles in the pigsback.com maiden hurdle. Hurdle 1 omitted. The hurdle in the home straight. Saddler up the leader, followed by Cletus Poulain. On the inside, the long odds favourite Ballyburn, the red cap. As they reach their first flight, they're tracked by Clock Row. Coming up easy. Apples of Brazil on the outside, and Tell Me This. The early back marker is Lowry Blue. Building up a lead of a good 3 lengths. Saddler up, followed by Cletus Poulain and Ballyburn.
I think this pace is
fourth
honest.
position
they were
Clock Row.
They're going around slower than this over 2 miles. Checks though in the last video.
Is 2 behind, Tell Me This. And in the spots, Lowry Blue. On to the second flight they come. It is Saddler up, Sean Cleary Farrell. By 3 lengths, Cletus Poulain and Jack Kennedy over in third, Ballyburn and Paul Townend. And fourth is Clock Row, Danny Hill, followed then by Coming Up Easy, Rachel Blackmore. Apples of Brazil, Michael O'Sullivan, and then Tell Me This, Peter John Carberry and Lowry Blue, Dad O'Keefe. Racing on up the home straight. Flight number 3 is the first one away from the stands, and it is Saddler up. Going on now by over 4 lengths to Cletus Poulain and Ballyburn. After them is Clock Row and Coming Up Easy, Apples of Brazil, Tell Me This, and Lowry Blue. Stringing them out.
Sun looking as though it's being a factor in this race.
That's the finishing post first time.
Another omitted hurdle there.
Second place is Cletus Poulain. Half a length back to Ballyburn.
Hopefully on this
chased home
they
the
might
highly
actually jump a
promising
few.
Firefox last time. Ballyburn followed by Clock Row. Coming Up Easy, Tell Me This, Apples of Brazil. The grey last but one, and bringing up the rear is Loudy Blue. First of two away from the stands coming up. Saddle her up. Followed by Cletus Pulo, who jumped closer than Ballyburn. Coming up easy in company with Clock Row and the Apples of Brazil. Tell Me This, Loudy Blue. Over the second one. In the lead is Saddle Her Up. Been there from Flagfall. Cletus Pulo continues to give chase, then Ballyburn, who's held third throughout. Racing together, 4 and 5. Coming up easy in Clock Row and then Apples of Brazil. Tell Me This. And lastly, Loudy Blue. No changes in the order. Reaching the halfway stage. The pigsback.com maiden hurdle. It is Saddle Her Up. By 4 lengths to Cletus Pulo. 3 parts of a length in front of the third running Ballyburn. And then just fourth, Clock Row coming up easy. Apples of Brazil. Dragged his way through that flight, and then Loudy Blue and Tell Me This. Reaching the final mile. Next flight on the far side coming up. Saddle Her Up. Into the next. Jumped it well from Cletus Pulo, who's now within a couple of lengths. Ballyburn third, then coming up easy. Clear running fourth, and then Clock Row. Returning to their point of departure. Heading for the second last flight, and two down there was Tell Me This. Tell Me This down at the back. Looked ugly fall. Coming up easy the other.
Well,
Saddle Her Up to the end of the back
straight.
Re-establishing a 4 or 5 length advantage over Cletus Pulo.
That was the one they ran past.
On the inside is Ballyburn, who's now matching Cletus Pulo for the second, and then Apples of Brazil. Coming towards the final flight. And it is Saddle Her Up, followed by Cletus Pulo, Ballyburn, both breathing down the neck of the leader, and then Apples of Brazil, who's in touch in fourth. Saddle Her Up is headed by Ballyburn, who comes up in between horses. They jump the last, and then Cletus Pulo and Apples of Brazil. It's all on the flat for home, and Ballyburn effortlessly opens up a lead on the home turn from Cletus Pulo. Apples of Brazil. Saddle Her Up has been knocked back to fourth, a long-time leader than Clock Row and Loudy Blue, racing well inside the final furlong and a half, and it is Ballyburn lording over them here from Cletus Pulo. Apples of Brazil in their private battle for the second and third, and then Saddle Her Up and racing inside the final 200 yards. It is Ballyburn effectively winning by half the home straight for Paul Townend and Willie Mullins. Ballyburn collects second time over flight from Cletus Pulo and Apples of Brazil.
I mean, a slightly unsatisfactory race because there's just no hurdles at the end of it. When the horse is tired, you've got to jump the last 2 hurdles, haven't you? And it's disappointing, but the horse definitely looked to have an absolutely fantastic engine there, Ballyburn. The hurdles that it did jump in the race, I thought people could not fault the way it jumped at all. I thought it jumped very well. Obviously, this is a horse that has never ran in graded company in its life. You know, but I think it's a horse that they have got high ambitions for. You'll see there, it's actually 10-1 for the Grade 1 at the Dublin Festival, 5-4 for the race, and the novice hurdle over 2 miles. At the Dublin Festival, it's 10-1 for the 2 mile 6 furlong race. And then it's heading to Cheltenham where it's 8s, 4s and 16s for the 3 novice hurdles there. The shortest price, the 2.5 mile. That's interesting, isn't it? They've got it the shortest price for the 2 mile race at the Dublin Festival. They've got it the shortest price for the middle distance, the intermediate race at the Cheltenham Festival. I mean, what they're trying to tell people there is I think they're not sure. You know? Be interesting to see where this horse ends up without any shadow of a doubt. Ballyburn. The horse to me has got good potential over jumps. You've seen it related to horses like Bob Ollinger more recently, and then to the legendary race mare Dawn Run. With a few interesting horses in between, I think it's fair to say. Those two. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you very much for watching the video, everybody. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.